Monday Insights, Matt Noyes, 1 Degree Outside Weather Network. Everything always at 1degreeoutside.com. Sunshine or storms, we've got you covered. What's coming up in this video is the deeper dive, the Insights video, where we really talk about the meteorology kind of driving things. We are challenging record warmth today. I usually don't focus on today, but when it's record warmth, we might as well. We'll take a look at that. Also, elevated brush fire danger on a couple of the upcoming days. It's been dry lately. When you get a wind and dry air, that certainly adds to that. We may get some ocean waves coming from Oscar, the tropical system that's coming off the Bahamas. We'll look at that in a big change in air that comes in later this week. For Monday, today, we're talking about challenging some record highs. These are the records that stand. 1920, this was a warm day. Boston set the record of 82 in 1920. Worcester's not on here, but your record is 80, set back in 1920. Concord's record is from 1920. Providence as well. Albany, New York, the record's 81 from 1979. 76 degrees in Burlington, Vermont was set in 1995, and 71 in Bangor in 2007. Any of these may fall today. Generally, we think temperatures probably come to just shy of or right around 80. A few spots will exceed it. Over the last 24 hours, precipitation has all been focused across the western United States, not across the east, because we all are very much into the big dome of high pressure. Fair weather that's in charge. I'm not going to spend too long on the jet stream here, because that's what we'll do in pattern predictions coming up in just a little while. Every Monday, I give you the jet stream pattern, the overall weather pattern for the next 14 days. But bottom line, what we first saw from 2 weeks out in pattern predictions has come to fruition. There's a big ridge of high pressure, very strong high pressure at the surface and aloft. So it's at the jet stream level, and in the surface analysis, there it is. And what does it mean? It means mild and dry weather that continues across the board, right? So all we're really getting for disturbances right now is either what's going on down in the tropics, and we'll look at Oscar in a second, or northern stream disturbances kind of zipping through Canada and once in a while dragging a cold front through. Well, it's not that these cold fronts are meaningless. They are generally moisture starved. So when we get the cold front to come through Wednesday night, there may be a quick shower that comes by into early Thursday morning, then it gets out. But they are dragging in some cooler air. So you can look at the predicted high temperatures for tomorrow, Tuesday. This is 70s in orange. 80s expanding across a lot of the southern and central United States, even some 90s showing up when you get around Texas and Oklahoma. But here comes the cold front, and by the time we get to Wednesday, you can see that cooler air digging down. Actually, high temperatures will be in the 30s in some parts of central and southern Canada. We never get into that, but we do get a pretty big change of air that comes in at the end of the week, which I'll show you here in just 1 minute. Funny thing is, there's not a lot of precipitation coming over the next 48 hours. You get some of it in the Midwest through the Great Lakes. You don't get a lot here at home in the next 48 hours. Again, maybe Wednesday night, you can see a quick shower that comes by. It really wouldn't amount to much. Plus, not only have you had dry conditions, but you get dry air and a breeze. So over the course of the day today, the breeze has been at least gusty. We're getting some gusts at times up over 25 miles per hour. Then that wind will die down a bit this evening. There's not too much wind to go around tomorrow, but Wednesday, you'll actually notice the wind kicking up again, and this time it comes out of the south. Now, it's not maybe quite as dry of a wind on Wednesday, and maybe a little bit more humidity to the air, but still, it's been dry enough lately. This will up the brush fire danger just a little bit as well. Just keep in mind, Chuck cigarettes are the big number one cause of brush fires in the Northeast. The other one would be mismanaged burns where the embers get away. But here's the other thing, just to keep it in perspective. This is your overall predicted fire risk for this afternoon. For example, there are spots around Boston, also at the south coast, and then down to Long Island that may border on moderate. Mostly it's low to moderate when you put it in context of fire danger nationally, for example. And that is the case Tuesday, and by the time we get to Wednesday, it may start to climb up again a little bit, but still you see it generally a low to moderate danger overall. In terms of what's going on down in the tropics with Oscar, Oscar is coming off the eastern tip of Cuba. This storm is not predicted to really rapidly intensify. This is a different situation than we had in the Gulf of Mexico earlier in the season. Even just a couple of weeks ago, Gulf of Mexico is very, very warm. The waters are warm around the Bahamas, but you're starting to get more and more wind shear. What happens is all these cold fronts that come through us cause changing winds aloft, both at the jet stream level, but also when you get down at the surface. And that's just not good for really strong, rapid development of systems. And that's why the storm isn't forecast to develop rapidly. Now, having said that, although it's forecast to not really exist as a tropical system beyond Wednesday afternoon, that may get extended. Sometimes when these systems come out over the Gulf Stream, when they start to make their way farther to the north and east, they actually do start to intensify a little bit more than expected. So I think what's going to happen with this is we never see any rain out of it, but we may find some waves out of it as we get to the end of the week. We'll look at that in 1 second. So again, day by day on the map, you can see high pressure still very much in charge for our Tuesday. frankly, for our Wednesday, we talked about that increase in wind, and that's out ahead of the cold front that's coming at us. Cold front makes its way through New England on Wednesday night, couple of showers with it. Thursday morning, there could be one left over early. Mostly, though, it's a brand new, still dry, but brand new air that comes in on a northwest wind. You'll feel the change. It feels like fall Thursday. That lasts on Friday as well, and then perhaps some showers come calling, at least here and there, by the time we get to Saturday. So in terms of the waves, again, starting out pretty quiet here on Tuesday. It's only a 1 to 2 foot sea. Wednesday, the wind waves start to pick up because that wind increases out of the south, so now you've got a 2 to 4 foot sea. And then starting up later on Thursday, not only do you have the wind from the cold front coming by and now coming out of the north and northwest, but you also start to get some of that swell trying to come in off of what's left of Oscar. So together, it's generally a 3 to 6 foot sea on our eastern waters, and by Friday, it's generally 2 to 5 foot sea with higher waves when you get into the commercial fishing fleet zones out to the east. High temperatures day by day. Tuesday, we're still running in the 75 to 80 degree range across western New England. Notice that we do turn a wind onshore, and that onshore breeze means you are cooler in a lot of eastern New England Tuesday than you were today. By the time we get to Tuesday night, still mild. That southerly wind taking hold. Remember, it gets breezy on Wednesday, helps to bring up the warmth. We continue to ride into the 70s. And then the big change. The big change starts to come in Wednesday night as a cold front comes through, that quick shower, and it opens the door to this. Temperatures by Thursday only running near 60 in a lot of southern and central New England, only near 50 for a high across northern New England. Thursday night, frost returns to the forecast, particularly in northern and western New England, but we all get quite chilly, and that leads us to another cool day on Friday with temperatures generally running in the 50s to near 60 degrees. A reminder that if you want to look at the 14-day, watch that chance of showers on Saturday. Look out into next week. You can do that with our app. But the other thing is, in terms of kind of the thinking behind that 14-day forecast, why the data looks the way it does, I'll have that in pattern predictions, which posts at onedegreeoutside.com in just a little while. See you again real soon.